Shalom, Yasharala. I want to give infinite honors to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem and Kakadash. I want to give double honors to our teachers, the apostles, the great millstone, and salutation to my fellow laborers in Yahweh Shai, pushing his truth across the four winds in these blessed last days, seconds, and times. Shalom, Yaki. On this topic, I'm going to go in about tearing down this stronghold of God knows my heart that we were taught in modern day Christianity, that you can go your life not knowing the word of the Most High, not studying to show thyself approved, not reading his word ever, but you still going to have in your mindset that the Most High is dealing with you, and you know the Most High, and he knows you. That's so far from the truth, all right? And that's what the Most High raised up his men to feed you with knowledge and wisdom, so you can understand the mind of the Most High and how it works. And if you don't know his word, you don't know him. All right, this word, these scriptures is his spirit. The scripture said King David was a man after Yahweh Shai's own heart. All right, that means King David studied his word. He prayed to the Most High to give him understanding with his precepts diligently. Okay? If you don't read his word, you don't know that the Most High gets nasty. The Most High kills. The Most High puts sore famines on nations. All right? He kills children. All right? The only way you're going to know that if you read his word. Now, if you don't read his word and you just go to church and listen to some man cherry pick scriptures and recite scriptures to you, you're going to think that the Most High is all love. And he wouldn't do this or he wouldn't do that like Christianity teaches. Christianity lies. So that's why he raised us up in these last days, Lord willing, we're those men in that righteous number, to show you. If you don't know the Most High's word, if you don't read his word, study his word, and digest his word from Genesis to Revelation, you don't know the Most High. So I'm going to start off in Proverbs, the 8th chapter, the 17th verse. And it reads, I love them that love me. All right. Now you can interchange that word love with obey. Okay. To love the Most High is to obey his word. Let me get a quick precept to show you that. This is John 14 and 15, and it reads, if you love me, keep my commandments. All right. So love is associated with keeping the commandments. All right. So love is synonymous with obedience. And it's written in another place. This is 1 John 5, verse 2. And it reads, by this we know that we love the children of Yahweh when we love Yahweh and keep his commandments. All right. You read his commandments, you study his commandments, and you apply them to your life. So a love is acquainted with obedience, you can see. For this is to love Yahweh. All right. So it's telling you, for this is love, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. All right. So for you to know Yahweh by Shema Shai, you have to understand, you have to read his word. And you got to understand this book from Genesis to Revelation is a book of commandments, not just Exodus, the 20th chapter. All right. Paul gave commandments. Most High put spirit on Paul to give commandments. Our great king gave us new commandments. All right. So you got to read this book from Genesis to Revelation to know who the Most High is and what he tells us to do. Okay. Go back to Proverbs 8:17, and it reads, okay, I love them that love me. So I love them that obey me. All right. You can interchange that word with obey. And those that seek me early shall find me. All right. How do you seek Yahweh Shema Shai early, man? All right. You have to read his word because he is the word. All right. This is Hebrews chapter 10, verse 7. And it reads, then said I, lo, I come. In the volume of the book, it is written of me to do the will of Yahweh. All right. So for us to know Yahweh by Shema Shai, we have to read his word. All right, he comes in the volume of the book. That's why the scriptures say that King David was a man after his own heart, because King David was reading the book that testified of him. Okay? It's written in another place. This is John 1:14, and it reads, and the word was made flesh. All right, Yahushua is the word, man. All right, so we have to read this word. We have to dissect this word, man. We have to become surgical with this word to know Yahweh Shema Shai. You can't go to a church 40, 50 years, never pick up his book and read his word, talking about you know God. God know my heart. He know me. I'm a child of God. I go to church every Sunday. That's madness. Those are doctrines of devils. And you ask them the plainest thing. What does the commandment say about dietary laws? What does the commandment say about being clean and unclean? All right? They don't know because they don't read his word. All right? And we beheld his glory. The glory is the one begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. All right? And the way you beget Yahweh Shema Shai, all right, and beheld his glory is through reading his word. The way you get this grace and truth is by understanding this doctrine of life, this glorious gospel he gave to us, which is in a volume of a book. All right? So you have to read this word, man. All right? And this is why it says it in this precept. Revelation 1:3. The scripture plainly says, blessed is he that readeth. All right? That's when you seek Yahweh Shema Shai out the volume of the book, you're blessed. The way you seek him, you have to read his word. That's how you seek Yahweh Shema Shai. So if you don't read his word, what are you? You curse because you don't know him. And they that hear the words of this prophecy and keep those things which are written therein. So you have to study what is written therein, man. You have to read the word. You have to study the word. You have to eat the word. You have to meditate on the word. For the time is at hand. So if you want to march in the kingdom of heaven in the first resurrection, all right, this word has to be in you. This word has to stabilize you. This word is a cleansing agent, a purifying agent, man. These put people in these churches, these whorehouses they call churches, they're abominable ministers' rags, man. Because they don't have the word in them. They're not sanctified by Yahweh Shema Shai's word. This is the book of Hebrews 2:10. I think that's it. Is this it? All right, 2:11. For both he that sanctifieth, Yahweh Shai is the word. All right. So he sanctifies us by what? His word. And they who are sanctified. All right. So those who are sanctified, to be sanctified by him, you have to read his word. That's the only way you're going to be sanctified. Are all of one. We are one with the word. Because what does it say? The kingdom of heaven is within. The word of Yahweh Shema Shai is within us. For which cause he is not ashamed to call them brethren. All right? The word became flesh. We have to eat the word. The bread of life. All right? And that's how you get sanctified. Okay? Let me get another place. This is 1 Samuel chapter 13, verse 14. And it reads, but now the kingdom shall not continue. Yahweh have sought him a man after his own heart. All right, that word heart in the Hebrew is the Hebrew word la'ah. All right? And the Hebrew word lahar means your mind. All right? Your cognitive function. So King David was studying the mind of the Most High by reading his word. Okay? And I'm going to prove it to you. And Yahweh commanded him to be camped over his people. All right, when we inherit the kingdom of heaven and we inherit the heathen, all right, we got to do what King David do. We got to have the mind of Yahweh to inherit all of these glorious promises bestowed upon us, man. For you to be a ruler in the kingdom of heaven like King David was, all right, guess what you got to do? You have to be a man after the Most High's own heart. You have to know his word, his judgments, his commandments. Okay? You got to know the do's and don'ts, the difference between clean and unclean, holy and unholy. All right? Because thou hast not kept that which the Lord commanded thee. All right? So the Most High took the kingdom from Saul, who was a carnal man, who wasn't spiritual, and gave it to King David, a man that sought Yahweh by Shem Shai's mindset. Okay? That sought the mind of Yahweh by Shem Shai. I'm about to prove it to you. All right? I'm going to show you. This is the book of Psalms, 119. This is how you seek the Most High's heart. All right? Verse 4, and it reads, this is what King David did. Thou hast commanded us to keep thy precepts diligently. All right, what are the precepts? These scriptures. All right, you got to go from precept to precept, line up on line, here a little, there a little. All right, that's how you seek Yahweh by Shem Shai. That's how you learn the mind of Yahweh by Shem Shai. Okay? If you don't know his word, you don't know him. Okay? I'm going to skip down to 105. Same chapter. Psalms 118, 105. None. Yahweh is a lamp unto our feet. All right. The word is a lamp unto our feet. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet. All right. So if you don't have the word, you don't know the path to the kingdom of heaven. You don't know the path to righteousness if you don't understand his word. And a light into my path. So you in a gross darkness if you don't have this word living in you. This word is a lamp, likened to a lamp. It's likened to a candlestick. All right? It's likened to light. All right? Truth is this word, man. Okay? Verse 116 said, uphold me according to thy word. This is how King David sought Yahweh by Shem Shai's mind, because he studied his word. He asked Yahweh by Shem Shai, let thy word be a lamp unto my feet, a light unto my path, and uphold me according to thy word. So if you don't know his word, how are you going to be held? If you don't know his word, how is he going to direct you? It can't be done. That I may live. If you don't know his word, you're not alive. You're dead bones. You're spiritually dead. Let me not be ashamed of my hope. And we get our hope from this word, man. This is our hope. All right? This is our comfort in this affliction. Okay? All right? We'll get another precept. This is the book of Proverbs 13, verse 13, and it reads, whoso despiseth the word shall be destroyed. All right? When you bring the word to most of our people, when they don't understand it, and the word that you bring out is in contrast to these pulpit pimps, a lot of the times they tell us, these niggas in these whorehouses called churches, they say the devil know the Bible too. They call us Beelzebub, like they did our great king. Okay? Because they don't know the word and because we do. All right? So they despise the doctrine of life. They despise sound doctrine. All right? But he that feareth the commandment shall be rewarded. All right? For you to fear the commandment, that means you have to study the commandments. You have to read the commandments. All right? 613 of them. All right? It got prophecies that gave us commandments. Okay? It's commandments all throughout the scriptures. All right? In fact, I'm about to give you another commandment. This is a commandment right here to prove it to you. All right? 2 Timothy 2 and 15. And this is a commandment. Study to show thyself approved unto Yahweh. What are you studying? Yahweh by Shem Shai's word. A workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. All right? So that's a commandment you have to follow. Read this word, study this word. All right? Digest this word. Meditate on this word. Okay? You got to meditate on Yahweh by Shem Shai's word, man. And become one with his spirit, man. And if you're not doing that, the Most High ain't dealing with you. The Most High don't know you. And at the end of the day, he's going to tell you, I never knew you. Okay? This is the book of 2nd Esdras 3 and 31. And it reads, I do not remember how this Salaki. I do not remember how this way may be left. Are they then of Babylon better than they of Sion? And the answer is no. These heathens that have us in derision are not better than us. All right. The reason they are in a higher position than us, and they're a lot right now, is to conquer us and have us in derision, is because we transgress Yahweh Shemawashai's word. We were at enmity with his word. All right. That's the only reason. Or is there any other people that know of thee besides Israel? And they got a question mark right there. And the answer is no. All right? Because when you read Leviticus 26 and 46, Yahweh Shemawashai made a covenant with him and the nation of Israel and no one else. Let me get it. Let's be thorough. This is Leviticus 26 and 46. And it reads, these are the statutes and judgments and laws which Yahweh made between him and the children of Israel in Mount Sinai by the hand of Moses. Okay? Let me get another precept to back that up, to show that Ezra was being sarcastic. This is Exodus 31 and 18, and it reads, all right? And he gave unto Moses, when he had made an ending of the communion with him upon Mount Sinai, two tables of testimony, tables of stone, written with the finger of Yahweh. All right? And that was to give to the children of Israel, the sons of Yasharallah. Okay? So when you go back here to the book of Esdras, the 3rd chapter, all right? And you go to the 32nd chapter, or is there any other people that know of thee beside Israel? The answer is no. The Most High only made a covenant and gave his word to the nation of Israel. All right? Amos the 3rd chapter also tells you that too. Or what generation have so believed the covenant of Jacob? None of them. The only people that has loved that covenant and he gave that covenant to is Jacob. 33. And yet their reward appeareth not, and they labor have no fruit. All right? For I have gone here and there through the heathen. Okay? Ezra was among the Persians. All right? He seen, probably had a glimpse of the Babylonians. All right? He was in captivity, and he had a relationship with the king of Persia. Okay? And I see that they flow in wealth. All right? And he seen the majesty of the Persian Empire. Okay? He had communications with Darius and Cyrus. Okay? And think not upon thy commandments. And he say, these heathens don't think about upon the commandments and the statutes of Yahweh Shemawashai, but they flourishing. They're waxing fat. They're rich. Okay? Weigh thou, therefore, our wickedness now in the balance. Ezra was in his right mind. He had a relationship with Yahweh Shemawashai, and he knew Yahweh Shemawashai's word, and he knew why we were in captivity. Okay? So he said, weigh our weaknesses in the balance, and there also that dwell, and there's also that dwell the world. And so thy name nowhere be found but in Israel. Okay? Because when you deal with other nations, man, they want Israel to cease from being a nation. Okay? According to Psalms 83. Or when was it that they which dwell upon the earth have not sinned in thy sight? Or what people have so thy commandments? Only the nation Israel. Only the nation Israel have sinned in thy sight, according to Amos the 3rd chapter. All right? Thou shalt find that Israel by name had kept thy precepts. We're the ones have his word. We're the ones that knew Yahweh Shemawashai. How do we know Yahweh Shemawashai? Through his word. So you have to get out the Christianity lies, all right? And know, if you don't know Yahweh Shemawashai's word, the word of the Most High, you don't know him. He's not dealing with you, all right? He loved those that diligently seek him. And those that seek him early shall find him. So that's why you have to meditate on his word, study his word, to properly know how to navigate in his word. All right. And you have to get under a man, one of his men, to get taught his word. Okay. But not the heathen. And the heathen don't know his word. These guys in these pulpit pimps that in these whorehouses you call churches, these Masonic temples, they've been taught this word by a heathen. They go to these seminary schools and learn these doctrines they teach with the scriptures by the heathen. And the Most High ain't dealing with the heathen. Okay? So with that, I'm going to give infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem and Kakodash. Double honors to our teachers, the apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation to our fellow laborers in Yahweh Shah. Kwam Yasharala, Ba Ba Ba.